Gary, could we talk about the nice presentation that took place this morning? I've seen the photos on social media. I mean, they enjoying it?
Oh yeah,
a bit
it's
sheepish.
No, they enjoyed it. It's something that we started. I think it was back in January after Burrell scored his first goal and Kegg scored his first goal against Peterborough. I just thought that, on behalf of the club, it was a great way to celebrate the achievement of scoring their first ever league goals, and then it just snowballed from there really and became a thing of when you made your professional debut for us, and we've ran out of balls this year because of the EFL trophy. But yeah, I think it's a great thing just to. Well, it stays with them for the rest of their lives, no matter what happens in their careers. And
it's almost an extension of what we spoke about on Tuesday night about the first team players being here to support them on the pitch. Now the first team players are showing that support again.
Yeah, it's like I say, what we're trying to promote here. The people talk, loosely nowadays about culture and environment, but the environment that we want the academy and the first team really tight, because I think it's really important. Myself, Pat, I've come from the academy coaching side, and I think combining the two departments is really important to us.
Do the senior players enjoy it as much as the as the young lads?
Yeah, I honestly believe the group we had last year and the group we had this year, they really appreciate the it's a nice touch, and this morning there was a bit of banter because obviously there was 6 we had to hand out. I just hope that doesn't come out of my budget for January.
You never know. Blackpool on Saturday, the really serious stuff. I mean, that's serious. Don't get me wrong. What you've done this morning is serious. But Blackpool on Saturday, a big test. New manager. They bounced a bit, so a big test.
Yeah, as ever. If you look at their squad, what they recruited in the summer. I'm sure obviously there's been a change because they weren't happy with the position that they're in, and knowing the manager, because when I first started coaching at under 17 at Derby County full time, my first job, the manager was in the under 19s at Derby County. So and you only have to see the success he had at Barrow and the success he had at Bolton, and he would be wanting to do that again this season with this group that he's got. We will obviously be the underdog again, but it's all about us as trying as hard as we can to back it up. Last week's magnificent win, and we've shown what we're capable of, and we've got a few bodies back now, which will help as well. So it's going to be a real good test again for us, but one we're really looking forward to.
You watched a fair bit, I think, of Ian Evatt's teams before arriving at Burton.
And Blackpool.
Another job, and Blackpool,
another job.
He produces winning sides, doesn't he? That's what Ian Evatt seems to do. He produces winning sides.
He's got a style of play, and he sticks to his principles of it. We're aware of obviously the fact that he's inherited a very good squad as well. So what's happened in the last couple of weeks with them doesn't surprise me at all. They'll travel well in their numbers, as I know from my time there managing. I loved my time there. I loved driving in every day and seeing the Blackpool Tower. It always put a smile on my face, and like you just rightly said, when I was out of work, a fellow radio station was very good to accommodate me, and I did a lot of their games, and so I'm aware of quite a few of their players in their squad, and like I say, it's going to be a tough challenge, but one that we're excited by and going into it with a lot of confidence.
You had success at Blackpool as the manager. It would be remiss of me not to mention
it. Would be remiss
before you play them. I mean, the fans will hold you in high regard, I imagine.
Well, we won the playoffs at Wembley, which for me was my first trophy as a manager, and to lead your team out at Wembley is just it's unbelievable. And it was at the time where the club was in a lot of chaos is probably a nice word for it, and they'd just suffered back-to-back relegations, and when we went in there was a lot of fear of them going out of the Football League, but the group that I had there and the players and the staff were just magnificent, and we managed to get back up at the first attempt, and it was at that period where the fans were boycotting coming to the ground. There was I don't know, about 3,000 that would regularly come, but the majority didn't. And you know, I said at the time, I take my hat off to them because they had their values and their principles and they stuck to them. And I'm from that kind of person myself, that, you know, so they will travel in their numbers, and they'll make some noise and they have some good songs. I used to love joining in with them, but I won't be this weekend.
Quite right. You mentioned the Blackpool Tower, and that's
yes.
the worst segue in radio history. We were looking at some stats today. I want to pick out a couple of stats. Over the course of the season, Jake Beasley wins more headers, which isn't a surprise to those of us who watch him, wins more headers and has won considerably more headers per match than any other player in this division. You tell us how important he is, we see it, but I mean, he really is. He's crucial to the way Burton Albion play, would that be fair?
Oh, 100%. Like I say, from watching him and following his career, in the summer when we knew that he would be available, it was, as they say, something that a no-brainer, and we wanted to get him in. And you know, the fact that geographically it suited him as well was a massive pull for us. The impact that he's had has been enormous. You know, you can't measure it. You know, we're in this world where everything has to get measured. Well, you can't measure that other than, you know, what you see on a day-to-day basis with your eye and how he is and how the others see him. And you know, I love him to bits. When he had his foot at Wimbledon, you know, I rang him on the Sunday and he was in the car with his wife, and I had to tell her what a lucky lady she is to have him, and make sure she didn't come between me and him, because that's how much we rate him and love him here.
The other stat, which surprised me a little bit, there's a lot of stats on Charlie Webster's in near the top of a lot of categories.
Best hair, he must be the top.
Not for me to comment, but he was near the top of winning the ball back, which is something that you don't often associate Charlie Webster with necessarily, and you don't really see that in games. But do you notice that work, and that shows how far he's come on, I suppose?
That's been his development. We were having this conversation yesterday about him in terms of, you know, he's worked ever so hard on his defending side of the game, and he had to. It was simple as, and some of it was, you know, the fact of, you know, where he's been in all his career. It was predominantly with the ball, and now it was the other side that he had to grasp. And you know, he's put a lot of time and effort into it. He's still learning. He still makes mistakes on it, as we all do still. But he's really bought into what we're trying to do with him, and I think from that he's reaped the rewards, not only in his goals and assists this season, but actually his performances as well. And for someone as young as him to have produced the level of consistency that he's been producing this season is an enormous amount of credit to him. And again, like Saturday for the team, he's got to go and back it up again now, because you know, he's going to be playing against some good midfielders on Saturday.
We've all seen how well the team has played in recent weeks. Certainly, it's a third, I think, in the form table of the last 6 matches, something along those lines, which is testament to how well they've been playing. Yeah. The key now is to maintain that, though, of course. Yeah,
well, I can't praise this group enough. If you look at the league as a whole, you know, the big clubs that are in it, the salaries that are flying around, the budgets that are flying around, and where we would compare to that, for us to have gone and done what we've done this season already is a huge credit to that group. However, we cannot rest on it, and the season doesn't finish now, so I think we're a third of the way, nearly, more or less a third of the way. We've got to kick on, we've got to back it up, we've got to push on, and you know, demand more from ourselves individually, and the real beauty of this group is the connection that they're making and how much further they can push each other and go, and I'm excited by that.
I said I'd ask you. Finn de Lapp.
Yes.
Have we any news on Finn de Lapp?
Yes, we have. So the second opinion is obviously was why we went for it. And at this moment in time, we don't feel he'll need an operation. So it's a case of now reducing the swelling, see where we are in a couple of weeks, and then hopefully then he'll be on his way back for a rehab. So you know, that's a positive for us. So fingers crossed now that we can get the swelling down and get him going again.
That's as good as you could have hoped for.
Oh, massively, yeah. Because obviously you're going in under the knife, and who knows what they find when they go in there and how long that would be.
You lose another centre back this weekend with Toby Sibic being away. You've got players coming back in that position. Are they Jasper Moon? I don't know how close.
Jasper Moon, Terence Van Kooten, both of them are really close now. Well, yeah, they're more than close. If you know, we protected them on Tuesday a little bit with that. So yeah, they're both back, and the timing of it's brilliant because I thought Sibic did ever so well for us on Saturday, and you know, it's just disappointing that obviously we have this period of time now with the international breaks, but it is what it is, and we get on with it, and it provides an opportunity for, like you say, one of those two, if not somebody else, or we could tweak it a little bit.
You mentioned Seb Revan on Tuesday saying he was coming back as well.
He's back.
Dylan Williams wasn't as bad as Dylan. So JJ McKinnon's probably the longest term,
but JJ was back with us today, so that was really good as well. So fingers crossed he comes through. He comes through today's session tomorrow, and he joins us again.
Easing off a bit.
Well, it's easing off a bit, yeah. But it was funny because we were then filling out the squad and going, well, who else is missing? No, that's it. And we were like, ooh. We're not blessed with numbers when everybody's fit, which it just shows you know, how well the group's done, and a credit to them, because you know they haven't been able to. Oh, you have a rest, or you come off, and I personally think that's really good because it develops that resilience and that robustness, and they know they've got to keep going and push on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Gary.
Hello sir.
Can I take you back to Bradford last week?
Yes.
I mean, what a fantastic performance first.
Yeah.
What pleased you most about the performance?
I think the first half, our courage to go to that environment and play, and we were brave with the ball, and you know, to score another goal from a set piece. You know, we're a real threat from the set pieces now, and that's been pleasing because of the amount of work that's gone into it. And then the devastating counter-attack goal, I think, you know, that was a wonderful counter-attack, and the detail in that was amazing. And then the second half was to, you know, we knew what Bradford would come at us with, putting Cook on, and the way that the lads saw it through. Obviously disappointment with the penalty, but until then the lads were throwing their bodies on the line, making blocks, but Brad didn't really have a great deal to save. And then the learning that took place from the previous away game, Rotherham winning 2-0, although, you know, those two decisions have been proved correct in terms of we should have had a penalty against Charlie, and we should have had, or the lads should have been sent off. We're confirmed.
That was our view.
Yeah, but that was confirmed. So then the learning to take place, and I think it was in the 93rd minute, 94th minute, Bradford had a corner. So you can imagine what was going through everybody's thoughts, and they managed to see it through. So that was an enormous step forward in terms of the learning. But for this young group to go there and play against such an experienced squad, and a squad that cost a hell of a lot of money to put together, for us to go and perform like that was the most pleasing thing as well.
Have you had a notification then from somebody to say that you should have had the...
Yeah, when that's done and dusted now.
For what it's worth.
Yeah.
Then go on to Tuesday, and although the result was not for us, the fact that the amount of youngsters and the academy kids that were playing, you know, we saw the game against Port Vale and it wasn't so good. And
no.
The same set of lads play in that game, and they were brilliant.
And again, it's ironic because on Tuesday night, as we were leaving, I said that exact same thing to Barks. It's amazing the development from the learning from that Port Vale game to Tuesday night. And you know, I think Crewe, who notoriously for years and years and years have produced players and talked about their academy, well, we had more playing from the start, and then obviously introduced more as well. So you have to give an enormous amount of credit to the academy staff, and I was impressed with some of the performances, and they've got to really push on now. and there's a lot of first years in there as well. So Will Ellio's a first year, young Sammy was a first year. Cairo became the youngest ever to replace Sully, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Must be Sully, mustn't it?
16 years, 8 months.
So to have two in the space of 3 months is amazing.
Couple efforts on goal as well.
He's got wonderful technical ability, Cairo, and it was quite funny because I said to him before he went on, I said, "Will you get me a goal?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Right." And then I really felt for him because he tried his hardest with 2 great opportunities.
Did you pull him after so you didn't?
No, we had a little giggle with him today a little bit, but what they've got to do is take that opportunity that they've had now and say, right, I've got to go and work really hard now and push on and see if I can get in and around it on a permanent basis.
I was talking before about how far the squads and the teams come. It's a bit of an anniversary this time, exactly last year, was the first, 9th of November was the first win for Burton Albion last season.
Wow.
A 2-0 win against Shrewsbury, and then the next one was a 1-0 win against Peterborough in December.
Yeah.
So that's a measure of how far the team.
And I think the third one was January the 21st or something like that at Wigan, and that was my first one.
Yeah.
So that's an amazing development of the team where we've come from within less than a year. But the big message is we can't rest on that and say, oh, we're ahead of the curve and then relax. It's not that time. We've got to push on now and make the most of the start that we've had in that sense. But we've got a hell of a lot to do, and you only have to see how tight it is this league this season. So that starts Saturday.
Blackpool Saturday.
Yeah.
For the season, you'd look at Blackpool and think this is a big game, and it's going to be a big
game.
Huge. They are below us in the table, but they have had a recent form, couple of wins, new manager. Yeah,
and we know because of that, the squad that they've got, that it's going to be a tough game for us for sure, and one where we will start like they will start as favourites, and we just got to, like I say, carry on and back up from last week's performance and at Bradford.